Good day to you. This is Rachel Terry. I'm the founder of School Choice Nebraska, and it's the day after our school choice celebration at the Capitol. And unfortunately, I couldn't be there this year. Our family is living in England during the academic year, and so I've been looking through the pictures and seeing the great things that happened, the students, the educators, we had the senators. It looks like it was a great time. And in the wake of the school choice celebration, there's always a lot of chatter. And one of the things that we've been seeing are some ideas about the motivation of our organization, particularly from the teachers union. And I had hoped to have a genuine conversation with at least one of those people, and that was declined. So I thought maybe it would be helpful to explain why school choice is important enough to me that I started an organization to advocate for it in Nebraska. So just to give you a little bit of background, our family has moved around a lot. Our kids have attended public schools in 3 different states, in Washington State and Colorado and Nebraska. I have never attended a private school. I've attended public school my whole life. Same with my husband, and same with our 3 children. They've always attended public school, although we've also done a little part-time homeschool, but none of them have attended private school. 2 of our children are done now. Our second child finished up with K-12 last year, and our youngest, she's attending a public school here in England right now and will return to Lincoln Southeast. So we've been seeing some interesting accusations on social media aimed at our organization. Things like, you just want people to pay for your kids to go to private school. We have no plans for private school. I don't see that happening. Our kids have never gone to private school. But I think I can understand the confusion. Why would someone whose kids go to public school advocate for other school choice options? As I mentioned, we had lived in Washington and Colorado, and in Colorado, charter schools are very common, and charter schools are simply public schools that have a little more freedom to operate the way they want to in exchange for more accountability. So, for example, a charter school that's not performing up to the terms of its charter will close down. And so that's where the extra accountability comes in. We don't have district public schools closing down if they're not performing well. Charter schools do. Over the years, we tried different options depending on what was going on with our kids. They didn't all need the same kind of school at the same time, and so sometimes we had 1 in a charter school and 2 in a district school. I sometimes think back and wonder what would have happened if we hadn't had some of the options that we needed in critical moments. And that's part of what drives me to do this, because I know we have kids who are not getting what they need right now. You know, as I interacted with the other parents and learned their stories, it was really wonderful to see how having many different options can help in so many situations. Just to give you a few examples, we had a little boy that we got to know through the online charter school who had leukemia, and it was so hard for him to stay up with his studies when he was in a regular classroom. But with the online charter school, he could do his lessons when he was in the hospital for extended periods of time, but he still had classmates to interact with, both on his computer and then to get together with for field trips and clubs and things like that. I also got to know a brilliant kid whose single mom couldn't handle the online school, so his grandmother was doing this. You know, I met parents at the brick and mortar charter school who were driving fairly long distances and had been on waiting lists for a long time because this particular school met their children's needs. And so, you know, through the years of living in a school choice state, I saw how having these options really just opens up opportunity and makes it possible for kids in a variety of situations to get exactly what they need. One of the phrases that I often hear but don't understand is public funds for, see, how does it go? Public funds should not go to private schools. You'll hear different variations of that. So as far as I'm concerned, every child in Nebraska is part of the public. That's, the public is all of the kids who live in Nebraska. And I feel that it's our responsibility as a society to try to help every child to get the education that will prepare him or her for the future. Now, for a lot of kids, that will be district public schools, but we know from test scores and from other indicators that that's not the best fit for everybody. And so that's why I advocate, even though my kids don't go to private school, I advocate for private schools because I know that's the best fit for some kids. I advocate for any option that is helpful, and from what I have learned over the years, there are so many options out there that are helpful to some children. I really started to catch the vision of school choice when our kids were in elementary school, and I started to see them thrive in options that I was able to go out and find that didn't just come to me. And at the same time, my husband was teaching a robotics course at a charter school in Denver called Denver School of Science and Technology. He was a PhD student at the time, and was teaching this course as part of a National Science Foundation program. And this was an urban school with, almost everybody there was on the free or reduced lunch, and almost all minorities, and 100% of the kids in that school were getting accepted to four-year universities. They have a track record of doing this for many years, and I found that so inspiring. And I would love to see some options like that come to Nebraska. So did I start School Choice Nebraska because I wanted to get other people to pay for my kids to go to private school? No, I didn't. Our daughter is anxious to get back to Lincoln Southeast High School next year, where she has some incredible teachers who have really gone the extra mile. Her choir teacher has been emailing her while she's here in England and giving her support and allowing her to audition for things via video. It's a great fit for her right now. But I do feel that all of the kids in Nebraska deserve a shot at an education that works well for them. And so I will advocate for any option that fits one of our kids in Nebraska. When I say one of our kids, I mean one of Nebraska's kids. Some kids are going to thrive in public district schools. Some are going to thrive in homeschool. And these homeschool parents right now pay an awful lot of taxes and then have to buy their own materials on top of that. We have kids who thrive in private school. We have kids who would thrive in public charter schools if that option were available. We have parents, especially with children with special needs, who could really use education savings accounts. We have parents of kids who are deaf or hearing impaired who have had to leave the state because they don't have any options for their children. Tax credit scholarships would be very helpful. There are so many things that are being enacted in other places that just are not here. And why are they not in Nebraska? Well, that's a long story. It's a little too long for this video, but that is what our goal is at School Choice Nebraska. We believe that all of the public in Nebraska, that all of the children deserve to be able to be educated in ways that will help them to be successful in the future. So, happy School Choice Week. I'm excited about the enthusiasm we've seen, and excited about the future. The future looks good. There's definitely movement towards expanding opportunity, and that's what we need.